Hey, good evening everyone, it's Monday Mindset. I've come a little bit earlier to this evening, so normally here at 9, so I wanted to come in a little bit earlier, so I gotta go and meet some two good friends I used to grow up with, go to school, and I didn't really want to shift. I don't want to change that. It was really important to me. I catch up with these guys tonight, so that's the reason why. And also, the other reason, I wanted to test out 6 p.m. So I find 9 was getting a bit late because I'm trying to change my routine, get up a little bit earlier, so I can get work done, that kind of thing. Hey Lou, how you doing? So as soon as you're in, drop a hello for me or an explosion emoji, hashtag mindset explosion. Hi Emily, and please share the video. This hopefully it's going to help. All right. No competition this week. I'll run another one next week. I was a bit rushed out today, but always share because it just real helps. Okay. So just before we get started, I had some acupuncture today for the very first time. It was at Pure Lands Acupuncture, so 122 Winchcombe Street at Paolo. Highly recommend it. Had it for my knee and back. Awesome, but just so professional. Sat down and just talked to me about obviously stuff. Just obviously we all heard about acupuncture and what it could do. Didn't hurt, but it was fine. It's great. Highly recommend it, and definitely get over to there. This lovely building. Inside, just by chance, it's decorated out very similar to my academy, which was so I felt quite warm and relaxed anyway. But you did a great job. So I'm going to be booking up to go back there soon. Okay, so let me get into tonight's video. So it's trust is given, and what I was gonna put as my tagline was, and then it's lost, but I kind of seemed a bit negative, so I didn't really want this to be I don't want this to be a negative video, because it's given, it can be lost, but also it can be built up more, and it can be kept and everything else. So I took that part off, so it's ... It's whatever happens next. So I think generally, there's probably been times in life I'm not going to trust again, or I don't trust this person, I don't trust that. But I think generally, as a rule of thumb, or not even a rule of thumb, I think we go through life where we do trust people from the beginning. Now, maybe we're a little bit hesitant on what we provide to that person or what we're going to tell that person. But I think generally, otherwise, we wouldn't leave the house, because if we didn't trust anything or trust anyone, I'd be too scared to go out the door. And I know there's probably people that have that, So, but generally, I think we wouldn't trust someone if we're going to buy something simple from the shop or whatever. So I feel like trust is there from the beginning, and I know with myself, I put trust out, and I trust. There's things that I keep to myself, not keep to myself, but how I talk. What I share with people. This, tonight with my two friends, Paddy and Noel, known them for so long, so I know, that's trust that's grown over time, if that makes sense. So I feel that we put out trust, and it can be, and how we receive it as well with other people. It may be hesitant because of something that's happened, or just whatever. Let me get into this a bit more. So look, I've broken trust because and I'm sure everyone has. At some point we've broken trust. It might have been a big trust, a small trust. We're kind of human, and it's when it happens a lot, or something so big is that you just can't go back on it, and that's just how it is. But also, I feel that we've all had trust broken on us as well, whether it be big, small, lots of little times, and it just happens. It's part of life. So trust is definitely given at the beginning. I kind of come on this. I was listening to Gary Vee this morning on my podcast, and that's where I got it from. And he pretty much was saying that if we sometimes we can give too much trust early on, and then people feel entitled. And I'll come on to that in just a sec. But I'm a parent. I got 3 boys. Now, there's times when the children will break my trust, but I have to give them it. Otherwise, they're never going to be able to let go of their childhood. They're never going to learn to, fend for themselves. They're never going to be able to stand up on their own 2 feet. They're not going to learn how to, simple thing like butter some bread if I don't trust them with a knife to make the mess in the first place. So they may make the mess and cut it, the bread wrong, or not wrong, but just it cuts through it, can't do it. But then there's sometimes how confidence gets knocked as well. So I feel that trust we got to put out from the beginning, and it's just going to change over time, or hopefully it's going to grow. And sometimes it's like this. It's like that bank of love and bank of trust is hopefully you're putting in, and there's sometimes we take deposit, whether it be we have to, or it just happened. But as long as the top end is high and you're stocked up, and when you put deposit, if you're taking out, it's when you take out more than what's in there, then we go into negative. That's when it becomes a problem. Does that make sense? So it's if we break a trust of some kind, and I don't necessarily a massive thing. It's just, you know what, this bit, we weren't on time, or we didn't do what we said we were going to do. And it can be for so many different reasons. It's just always so many factors that come into it. But really, it's like it's when it's consistent. And I think really as well, if we break that, it's what we do next. Do we just blame it on something else, or do we take that responsibility for it? It's gone to recording again. Excuse me, guys. Let me just sort this Wi-Fi thing out a sec, and I'll be straight back in. All right. So it's what we do next, and it's what the other person does next. If it's consistently breaking that trust, or of course, then it becomes a problem. So while I was listening today, it just made me think, and it's sometimes, and I've done this, I felt like I've put so much trust out to someone. Maybe I've told them something personal, or I've entrusted them to kind of do something, and that can be. And I think even of ourselves, so there's two things from this: is being aware of two things. Is have we felt too entitled at some point when someone's trusted us with so much, or did that person feel a little bit too entitled? So basically, what he was talking about is that to trust everyone. But sometimes people can feel a bit too entitled to something from you at some point, or we can feel a bit too entitled to a little bit more. Does that make sense? And it really just made me think, and again, for like mindset and self-awareness of, someone's trusted me with something, and maybe I felt too entitled to more from that person at one point, in my life. And it really got me thinking. And I thought about, where I've trusted out as well. And I have, and then you end up feeling let down, because that's inevitable. But I'm not saying it's to to hold back on what you trust out, but to be aware that sometimes people will feel entitled to more. Does that make sense? That's how I see it anyway. And it was just something to be aware of within ourselves, that trust is for me, it's like a bank. It's like you put deposit in, trust people. Okay, meet you for the first time, trust you on this. We work an interaction, a relationship, it grows, we put into the trust bank, it builds, and you're going to take deposits because that's just normal. Maybe it's something gets taken the wrong way or whatever, or you didn't fulfill something, they didn't fulfill, so it's like this, but it should be growing all the time. If you take a big deposit, of course, that's a problem. Or if it's too much, it becomes, it's draining your energy, this kind of thing. I hope that makes sense, but I wanted to share it because it just got me thinking, really. It made me think about where I've maybe been in the past, where I might have felt entitled, and I know with other people where they maybe have felt entitled to more or whatever. So it's definitely a self-awareness thing. But, trust is an important thing, we know that, but I feel that we trust people from the beginning, and hopefully it's just going to grow out from there. But it will obviously sometimes diminish at some point, but that's just life. That's how we find out of, is this person right in this circle? I think we have that circle of trust. Do you have that? Do you have that circle of trust? So for me, I think people get in close. Hopefully they can stay there. Sometimes they break it. And that's it. It's like automatically out this psychological circle, and that's just how it is. And sometimes they go right out. But that's just, again, it doesn't mean someone's bad. It just means that they maybe felt too entitled. That they weren't really part of that. And thing is, don't worry about it. And when someone does break trust, you know what? You should forgive it, because it will happen. But it doesn't mean you have to bring them back into that circle as well. All right, that's a massive subject today. So let me know some thoughts. So hope that's made sense, because I think it's such a massive thing, the whole thing of trust. But this really got me thinking today, is where if we give, giving too much, sometimes people can feel entitled to something more from you. And I think that's important to be aware of. But even within ourselves, when someone has given us so much trust, maybe we can feel entitled to live, too much as well. Hope that makes sense. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I've got hopefully doing an interview tomorrow. So I'm really looking forward to that one. If not, there'll be a mindset explosion, I'm sure. Peace.